Well, thank you, Kelly, for taking the time to speak with us in studio. It's always a pleasure having you here, by the way.
It's always fun to be here.
You make me smile. But before you embarked on an awesome trip, Dreams Take Flight.
Yes.
Before we actually get into the actual event itself, like what you did this time around, talk about, for those that are watching and who don't know, how did this all come about, this Dreams Take Flight opportunity?
Right. So if you'll remember back in April, I went to Nepal with Dream Mountains Foundation. So it's a foundation that supports 7 different charities, and Dreams Take Flight is one of those charities that we support through our fundraising and trekking. So I chose Dreams Take Flight for a multitude of reasons, but the main reason was my nephew battling cancer. And what Dreams Take Flight does is sends children on a trip of a lifetime to Disney. So it was really appropriate that that would be the charity that I would support. So I raised about $12,000 for Dreams Take Flight.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was pretty spectacular. And they invited me to be a chaperone on the next flight out of Ottawa with a bunch of disadvantaged children, 104 disadvantaged children, and we went to Disney for a day. So it was insane. It was amazing.
So when did that happen? And just kind of talk about like your journey seeing these kids and just your experience with that.
A week and a half ago, I literally left work. I drove to Ottawa, had a couple hours sleep. We were up at 2, at the hangar by 3. The kids arrived at 4, and by 5 a.m. we were on the plane. And we flew to Orlando and just spent an entire seriously magical day in Disney with 104 children, all volunteers, all volunteer-based.
Wow.
So it was pretty amazing. And then we came back at midnight, so it was a really whirlwind. I packed about 3 days worth of fun and excitement into one day.
So what does it take to be a chaperone? So what was your role there? Obviously to watch the kids have fun, but were there any other roles that you embarked on with these kids?
Well, typically any kind of medication distribution as well. So these children all have special needs. There's social, medical, mental, physical. So whatever needs they do have, we need to address those. Clearly, if it was medical, there was certain medical staff as a chaperone as well. But I had 6 children in my group, and 6 amazing little girls, and our needs were different, so I just had to make sure that we had them all, kept counting heads, and our duty for the day was just to have an amazing day and make sure that these children had an amazing day. So
what were some of the activities that these kids got to embark on?
Well, yeah, these children a lot of them had never even been on a plane before, so being on the plane was already such an excitement for them. And Dreams Take Flight, it's complete volunteer, 100% volunteer-based. It's amazing. So Air Canada volunteers or donates the plane. All of the air staff, the flight crew, all dressed up in Disney characters. And the plane was decorated, the hangar was decorated, there was red carpet, it was insane. So we as I said, the plane ride in itself was a huge excitement for them. And then we got there, and these children have never and probably never will again go to Disney. So it was just overwhelming. It was rides and shopping and and finding Disney characters and getting their autographs and pictures, and it was everything that you do, only through the eyes of a child who never thought that they would ever experience that. So it was really cool, really cool.
That certainly sounds very magical. I've never been to Disney, so
I
I'm
have to
so
go.
jealous. But I guess my question for you then, maybe for those that are watching, I mean, of course, illness touches everybody, and I know we have families here locally where illness certainly does affect them. If they wanted to take part or apply or something, how does that work to get that trip of a lifetime?
So Dreams Take Flight is a national organization, so there's chapters all across Canada. And the reason I chose to fundraise for the Ottawa one is because the rest of the trekking team is from Ottawa, so we didn't want to split up all that fundraising that we did. There was 3 of us on the trek to Nepal that supported Dreams Take Flight, so my fundraising efforts went there. But certainly someone can go to the one in Toronto, which is a little closer. You don't have to drive to Ottawa. But as far as the application process for the children, that's a screening process. And doctors apply, or family members, or somebody like that who finds a child who would really benefit and have an amazing time. So then there's a screening process, and they select these children. And as far as the chaperones, you have to have so many hours of volunteer time to be able to go.
Okay.
And because of the amount of volunteering that I did and the fundraising that I did through trekking, through Dream Mountains, they asked me to be a chaperone, and I would love to go again. I'm just so hooked on this charity, and it was such an amazing time that if I'm honored enough to be chosen again next year, I am still fundraising for them. So.
Okay.